Watch out, this podcast may contain adult content. We're brought to you today by Altered Reality Entertainment, the creators of Empire State Comic-Con. Check it out at escomiccon.com. And now, on to the show. Hello and welcome to On the Case with Casey and Eli. I'm Elijah, and we're going to talk some Game of Thrones characters today. Ahead of the final season, we're investigating all the people that are still living and breathing. Casey, who are we talking about today?
Today we are doing Arya Stark.
This is so exciting. I'm so excited for this one. This is one that this is on my top list.
I was trying to save all the Starks, all the real juicy characters for the later parts. But you know what? We're going to throw you guys a bone. Here's Arya Stark.
Yeah, Arya Stark. So good. Give me an overview. Tell me what, I mean, she's been through
She is a complicated girl. She is the youngest of the Stark children besides Rickon when he's... No, was she older than Bran? I can't remember now.
She's younger than Bran.
I think she's younger than Bran, right?
Yes, but older than Rickon.
Older than Rickon, yeah. So she's the youngest surviving, and she is just kind of a little rebel. She doesn't ever want to be what she was raised to be, which is a little lady like Sansa. Sansa fit like a glove. With her, fit more like sandpaper glove. So I think she's always wanted to be a warrior. She's always been skilled in battle and tough and very... abrasive with her thoughts and stuff. She's never kept her mouth closed, even when it was probably in her best interest to not say what her opinions were. And it's just what makes her so lovable, is that she's badass, she's unrelenting about who she is, and she's really her father's daughter. Yeah. In a lot of ways.
Well, you called her a girl. I refer to her as a murder madam.
A murder madam?
Yeah, the murder madam. Yeah. Because I think she's long graduated from being a girl. You're right. Yeah. She was a girl, but now she's something a little different. And she actually, went around Westeros for a while as a little boy. Yeah. So she's kind of had many roles.
She's one of few characters who's been to both continents, Essos and Westeros.
Yeah, and so
it's pretty crazy.
I actually wanted to just say that I think of all the Stark children, like Maisie Williams, the actress, I think she looks the most like a Stark to me. Because she has that same brow like Sean Bean had, and just looking at her. I think that of all the children of the Starks, because of course Sansa looks more like Cat, and Rob's just so beautiful.
Rob looks like
Cat,
too.
And of course Jon is a Targaryen more.
Yeah.
But I think she just embodies in the face what I think a Stark looks like. So that's why I dig her. I mean,
yeah, they talk about that in the book too. Some of them have the red hair and the soft features of a Tully, and it's mostly Sansa, Rickon, and Rob. And then they take after their mother, but the rest of them take after the Stark line, which is more of like a long they describe it like a horse face, but with a strong brow, and it's that blood of the old men.
Yeah, no, I would say I would call it a brick face is what I would call that.
Hard as stone.
Like a brick, like just a slab.
I think even Littlefinger says that about Rob's or about Ned's older brother.
Oh, Brendan?
Yeah, because he said he had a jaw like an anvil.
Sansa,
I still bear scars.
Peter, please, call me Peter.
Yeah, anyway. But yeah, she has that feature, and so does Jon, which is funny because Jon looks more like a Stark than Rob did, even though he's the firstborn son of them and everything, and the heir. So and then Bran also has those features. Bran and Arya look like they could be brother and sister for real. So I believe that. But yeah, she's got kind of also related to Ned's older brother. She's got that wild wolf's blood that they only talk about a few people in the house Stark having. That's it's like this thing that some of them just have this what they call wolf's blood, where it's like their blood runs hot. They're quick to anger. They're good at war. They like fighting. They like to get down in the dirt and wrangle and wrestle and they call it the wolf's blood. And the only people they talk about it is Brendan and Lyanna, which is obviously Jon's mom. I think that's why Ned really loves how Arya is because he sees so much of his sister in her, the same spirit that's so wild. Of course. He loves it a lot. I mean, he never really tries to get her to be better about it.
What kind of blood do you think Uncle Benjen had in him?
Yeah, I don't know. I think he's kind of quiet. I think that's who Bran would have been more like.
Yeah.
If all the three-eyed raven nonsense hadn't happened. So
he just more of the...
Yeah. But I think she's...
The bonus Jonas blood, just the other one off to the side. There's a fourth Jonas brother?
I'm important, I play bass. Yeah. No, not really.
No, Ringo, really. Shut up.
Yeah. We're going to put that song right here on the fridge. But Arya is the quintessential Stark. Her, Jon, and Bran all have that blood, but in that way. But she is the one that's really beastie, and she's just, you can't not like her.
Yeah, I was gonna say, can you think of a character that like unanimously like the entire Game of Thrones fandom is just rooting for? Because there's like moments where we can critique Jon. There's moments where like, Jon, what are you doing? Like, getting the dragon killed, or like other times where you're just like, yo, you're being a mopey, pouty,
emo style.
Yeah, and so I think that there's like with Arya, I just feel like there's just like across the board. Like, she's, like, probably the most acclaimed character that everyone's rooting for.
Well,
just, like,
I'd say
down.
the only one that's close is Tyrion, which is funny because George R. R. Martin's wife's favorite character is Arya, and his is Tyrion.
Yeah.
So, of course, he writes them a certain way. I think, for a reason. But it's not, like, it's not earned. Their characters are very interesting, very different, and still universally loved. Like
I just feel like, coming from an audience perspective, I think that Arya has the biggest approval rating for fans.
Probably.
Yeah, just like there's no time where you weren't on her side. You're just like, girl,
and she's never done anything really dumb. Even though like parts of her storyline weren't always like super interesting. Like some of the time in Bravos was wasted. Was a little bit wasted, and like the fact that like she survived these incredible wounds, jumped in water, and then fought the fight of her life and won.
Yeah,
and was totally fine. Like a day later was kind of like weird, but I think it's just more like that the show is bad at letting us understand the passage of time.
Yeah.
That sometimes we think, oh, how did she survive that when like that happened a day ago, but really it happened like 2 weeks ago. We don't know. So, but yeah, I think her character has really never made a dumb decision. She's been emotional at times, and the only time she was almost about to do something really dumb is when she was like getting emotional when the Red Wedding was happening. And we talked about this in the Hound episode, but he clubs her over the head and takes her off because her mouth almost got her in trouble again.
Yeah, I'm just gonna say, like, just jumping ahead, like, because we'll get back to the other stuff that we need to do, but just like worst moment, she let Grey Wind die. That's her fault. It's on her.
No.
I'm blaming her.
Fight 12 guys with crossbows?
No, I'm just blaming her. You just run over, you open up the lock. That's all.
Grey Wind dies in a totally different way in the books, so
yeah, true.
Can't really blame her.
Yeah. Okay. So, where'd we last see her?
We last saw her in Winterfell,
battlements
with Sansa after sentencing a certain
tiny
phalangeed man.
I gotta say, so like, just in retrospect, the ultimate payoff of that whole Arya scene and the how do you plead Lord Baelish thing, like, that's a cool moment.
Amazing.
But the way that they got there, I felt was a little clunky, and like I was like mad, like, why are they putting these two women against, like, I was like, no, this is the moment they need to come together. And I know that eventually they come together.
Acting the whole time.
But the way that it gets set up is just a little frustrating for me.
Yeah.
Like, just as a viewer, I thought that I didn't need that drama. Like, I didn't need that B plot.
But I think what's great about it is that it makes sense because everything Littlefinger's done in the show so far, Littlefinger really started the entire fucking war.
And
when you find that out
his fault.
in the Mockingjay episode, when he's like, "Who told you to put the tears of Elise in just wine and all this stuff?" And like,
he's the one with the dagger.
He made her send the letter to the Starks, warning them about the Lannisters.
All
of it's his fault. Every single dead person, pretty much, except for the White Walker's deaths, you could put at Littlefinger's feet and you'd be right.
Chaos is a ladder.
It is, and he's trying to climb it too fucking fast. That's his problem. But the thing about him is a lot of his things he was doing were really slow and methodical, and that stuff came off that way, slow and methodical, which is why it was frustrating because we're like, just talk to each other, like, seriously, just hash this out, like,
Your sisters,
whatever.
You love each other, whatever. Yeah,
but we didn't know that they knew that too. Like, Sansa knew him pretty well. I think
in the show it was kind of unclear when they knew that, because it did see in that one scene where like Sansa discovers the like bag of faces.
The face, yeah.
Like that seemed that they were at odds. So like when do they realize, oh, we're on the same team, and when do they form that plot? So that was, I think, the connective scene, the passage of time thing that you were talking about that I was missing, because I don't think that either of them came to the realization. I really think it was Bran, and maybe there was something wrong with that scene, like the audio in or something like that. But I feel like Bran had to be the one that kind of let them know, because of course they find
Bran knew from the weirwood trees all the shit
and he of course told them, because those are things that they bring up in the trial,
and he had the whole line that was the best, like one of the best moments with Bran, because he's such an emotional mute now, because he's like one person in a sea of people basically inside of himself. But I loved that moment when he said chaos is a ladder to him, because he's like, sounds weird with this kid. How the fuck does he know that? And that was the foreshadowing that we needed to know, that the girls were going to be informed on exactly who it was. Plus, Brienne was around. Pod was around. A lot of people who know what Littlefinger's about, even the people he was rolling with, like Royce and stuff, they wanted no part to do with him. And that's why I love the best part about his death is that it was like unceremonious and it was quick.
And she just slit his throat. So
He's like, yeah, no, you're done.
Let's move into then these top moments.
Yeah.
Her slicing Littlefinger's throat like that.
Killing the mastermind of the entire show, basically.
Kind of getting revenge for her father, because this is the guy who...
You shouldn't have trusted me. Like, all that.
I told you not to trust me,
And his... I mean... Littlefinger has been behind so many horrible things that have happened.
A lot of their struggle, if Littlefinger is removed from the board, I don't think almost all the stuff that happens in the series happens.
Yeah,
so
no, it's a whole set of dominoes that he set off.
We haven't talked about this, but she probably got the most important person on her list, even though he wasn't on her list. But he is the driving force behind why she had to make the list, why she hated all these different people.
Yeah.
She actually already X'd out the person who made the paper that the list is written on.
Yeah. Honestly, and Littlefinger must have known his time was limited, because they had that whole conversation with him and Sansa before the Battle of Bastards, where he's like, she's like,
yo, I don't need you.
If you didn't know who Ramsay was, then you're useless, and if you did know who he was, then you betrayed me.
Yeah.
And he's like, fuck, she's totally right.
Yeah, how do I...
I'll give you an army. She's like, I'll use it for 5 minutes, then kill you with it. How about that? But yeah, that's got to be one of Arya's top moments. I think my favorite revenge moment for Arya, because let's talk about the Frey massacre.
Because she's like Kill Bill. She's been going through the show just knocking people off.
Oh yeah, literally just boom, 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 boom. And even before she was trained as a killer, she was getting people like when she got her sword back, she's like, I think I'll pick my teeth with it, and stabs him.
Or when she gets out of Harrenhal by manipulating Jaqen by naming him. That's another...
She's a badass, man. She's made a lot of badass moves. And she killed the waif in Bravos. That was great.
Yeah, in the dark there.
Everyone wanted that bitch and her stupid haircut to die. But, I mean, the Frey massacre is the best Stark revenge. But my favorite Arya revenge is actually when she kills Meryn Trant. Because Meryn Trant supposedly killed Cyril Farrell, and that's why she hated him. But what she didn't know about Meryn Trant was he's also mercilessly beating her sister in court every other day. And then if we didn't hate this piece of shit enough, he goes to Bravos and he's spending money, and he's like, too old to girls who are 13. He wanted a 9-year-old girl, and then he's just beating them up. He literally does just want to beat up little girls. And when she pulls that face off because he's hitting her and she won't flinch. Mm-hmm. And he's like, I like this one. He's going to go extra hard. And then she just, dude, that death, out of all the horrible people that have died, there's only 2 deaths that felt like they got what they deserved. Because Joffrey's death was too quick, in my opinion. Okay. But Ramsay got his face eaten off by his dogs, which was beautiful, poetic, and slow and horrifying. But Meryn Trant is also slow and horrifying. And it's done by the person that he wronged, and I mean, I just love that moment. That death was so brutal. And actually, fun fact, that scene in a season where there's dragon battles and shit, that scene was the most expensive scene in the season, because the way they had to make it look real with the stabbing in the eyes and the blood and everything, it cost a ton of money to make that look real.
I'm glad that they did
and
that.
And it looked real.
Yeah,
I felt that shit.
Okay, so that's your top moment for her, that revenge against Meryn?
I love it.
Because I kind of want to put the Massacre of the Freys on her worst moments, and I'll get to that later. Yeah,
okay.
So I want to get to that, but I want to do some other best moments. So her laugh at the bloody gate in the Vale when she can't believe that
everywhere she goes,
her Aunt Liza's just murdered. Yeah, so that moment, I really love that. I love her leaving the Hound. That's a really powerful moment for Arya.
That's true.
And Maisie has done such a good job of growing as an actress as the character's grown, and I think that's a really cool thing, because she hadn't done much acting before this, and
she was a small child.
Yeah, and I really just love her growth throughout the series. So for me, a best moment is seeing her go from this meek, not weak almost, I don't know, just like a child, going from a child to a fully formed adult. The way that she manipulates Jaqen and Hagar, the way when she says the Valor Margulis to the ship captain, he's like, of course you will have a cabin, he's like, Valor Harris, and I'm just like, yes, this is, and she's really riding on the boat,
seeing
she's
her sail away,
she's on Titanic and she's Jack, beautiful. And she's getting held.
That's a beautiful scene, because she's finally, that was the first time in the entire series where wherever she went next was entirely up to her. and that freedom got us to see who she really wanted to become, and it was a faceless man, and that made sense, for everything she'd been through and for all the things she wanted to accomplish still. That made the most sense. I love that moment, her sailing away and looking off at the horizon, and she's going someplace she's never gone. And I think that's also important because it's the first time where she's not headed back to family. She's not looking to go back and try and be a Stark
someone
again.
to save her. Yeah, someone to save her.
She doesn't assume that, wherever she goes, oh, John will save me. Oh, Rob will save me. Oh, my mom will save me. Oh, my aunt will save me. Nope. You're on your own now. The Starks are gone, and she knows about the Winterfell being taken, the Boltons, all that. She has nowhere to go except for where she needs to go as a character. And this is a really great moment.
I think there's a lot that I just want to keep jumping to, but I have to say the battle with Brienne, proving that she knows her shit, that is that for me, top tier.
Yeah.
Kind of a best moment, kind of a worst moment, the Nymeria
That's what I was gonna say.
Reunion. Yeah.
I don't know how to feel about it because I'm like, dude,
this sucks.
You need that wolf. But
yeah.
The wolves pack needed her more.
Yeah, the acceptance.
It was beautiful though.
Yeah.
I'm so glad we got to see it.
Yeah. It sucks.
Yeah.
But it is a best moment. I think it has to be just because
it's so built up to in the books too. The whole fact that they talk about this giant she-wolf leading a pack that's bigger than any pack there's ever been. That's super pack of wolves that's raiding all these villages in the Riverlands, and you're like, shit, she let Nymeria go in the Riverlands. In the books, it's not confirmed that it's Nymeria, but it has to be Nymeria. Yeah. And the fact that we get a little nod at it.
Yeah, and then the hot pie thing too, all of that, just the because I think that story has had some of the biggest payoff because of how long we've been with her. The last thing I really want to highlight as one of my favorite moments is her and Tywin. Her and Tywin, because I've often said this, that Game of Thrones pairs two characters that you would not expect to be together better than any, they are the wine and cheese. They're hey, what meal pairs with this wine? They do that at a higher level than any.
And you don't know until you get a taste and you're like, oh shit.
This is the best thing, because
really good.
And I think Arya's had some of the best pairings, Arya Hound, incredible. Arya Tywin, lights out. And I just loved that.
Arya and Gendry, Arya and Syria Farrell, Arya and her dad, Arya and Jon is going to be the most emotional Stark reunion when it happens for me.
I think it's going to be more emotional when she reunites with the Hound.
No.
No.
I don't think so.
Okay.
No. I think she'll be surprised that he's alive, but then she'll be but Jon and her were
we've never got to see that love on screen, though.
No, we did. He gave her needle.
Yeah.
And the fact, I want to see her and him hug each other, talk about what they've been through, and then I want him to be completely and utterly amazed that she went through all that and still has needle.
Yeah.
Because that's amazing.
Yeah, that is.
Can you believe that? Dude, she should have.
He's gonna see her and she's okay. But like I said, top moment, her and Tywin, man. Yeah. I don't know, I can't because that dance, Charles dance, he's in it, the Tywin performance is incredible, but there is an actor of who has this gravitas and this weight to him, and she is going toe to toe with him in every scene, and just for me, that's when I realized that Game of Thrones can have sword fights, but actually my favorite thing is when Tywin Lannister is sitting at a table owning someone and they're giving it back to him. That's why two people are just sitting and talking.
I hate when people don't have the patience to watch the show sometimes because there's parts of it slow. That's because you're not listening. The best parts of the show sometimes are the conversations.
Quiet moments, yeah.
Because you think they're talking about just some mundane thing, except for there's so much under it. There's so much foreshadowing happening. And these characters mean so much to each other in different ways, and that's something that they changed from the books, the Tywin and Arya thing. It wasn't in the books.
No.
And it was beautiful.
It's so much better.
They came together amazing.
Oh my gosh.
I mean, the Weasel stew is pretty great in the books too, but yeah.
So just in that line, we're going to get to this when we do Cersei, but actually my favorite scene of the entire show is that Robert Cersei conversation before he dies about really about his that their failing marriage and why everything happened. I was just I can't believe how good this is. And
when she says she did love him once.
Yeah, and it was one of those things where this is not in the book because the books are always from perspective, and Cersei and Robert don't have perspectives. No. So I was just this is that was my favorite thing.
And she confronts him about his love for Lyanna and how that's what ruined their marriage. Yeah. And he doesn't apologize for it. No. He just goes, okay, well now I understand.
Yeah, now I get it. Yeah.
And it's beautiful. Whenever I rewatch the show, there's moments like that stand out to me that you're wow, I mean, this means so much, not just to these two people, but to the world, the character, the Fire and Ice.
It's a lot. It's one of those things where you're I believe this is canon, for the show and the book. I don't care what the book says. In my head, this is canon now.
Yeah, there's literally 2 or 3 characters that have been dead the entire series that are talked about, mentioned, or like mean the most to the story. And I think the 3 that I would say are Aegon Targaryen, obviously the Conqueror, Lyanna Stark, and I lost my train of thought. There's another one that I was gonna say. Maybe the Bran the Builder, built like everything, built the wall, built Winterfell, all those ones. Those are like just crazy. Probably Rhaegar too.
Yeah, Rhaegar.
Right? Rhaegar and Lyanna's relationship changed the face of things because Robert's Rebellion wouldn't happen. Jon Snow wouldn't exist, who we assume is going to be Azor Ahai and change the world and everything. But yeah, I mean, Arya's place in this story is huge, but I don't think, I don't know. Let's talk about where she's going and stuff.
Yeah, because I know you're going, because essentially she's not a crux to the story person. She's a B, and I don't want her to be a B level character.
No, she's an A. She's just not like
John, Danny.
Yeah, she's not like gonna end up on a throne or something like that.
Okay. Worst moments for her, real quick. There's not a lot of them, but I do have 2 that I want to highlight. I teased the one earlier, the Frey massacre.
Why? That's a great moment.
Okay, because
it's too easy.
No, it's the death of innocence. She is officially a murderer. Like, her childhood is gone, her ties to who she was, and I know she goes back and be a Stark, but from that moment, she's forever changed. And I know she was, like, killing to get revenge and stuff, but for me, I'm just like, she just killed, like, 40 dudes, and, like,
more than that,
she is a monster now. Like as much as I love her, and I like the character, and I understand her reasoning behind what she did, she is like, a mass murderer now.
Well, the devil you know is better than the one you don't.
Yeah, no, but I'm just saying, like, to me, that was a stamp on something specific. Like,
look, you watched Jon Snow hang a child.
Yeah.
Do you not hate Jon? Do you hate Jon Snow?
No, but like
it's because they deserved it.
It might be. I don't think it's a man-woman thing, or that like Jon is like a killer, or he's in command or something like that. But for me, it was just like Arya. I was like, this is the death of childhood, the death of innocence. And
I never saw her as innocent in the first place. I think that's why it's different. I mean, she stabs a kid in the stables like before Ned's even like all the way in custody.
Yeah, I think it's like more like survival stuff. Like that was for me. I don't know. I don't know. I felt like that was the first time it was excessive to me. Like, because like not all of those people were bad people. Like, I get it. The Freys murdered her family, but like she wasn't specifically wronged. Like one of those Freys could have been just a regular guy. And I know she didn't kill like any of the cooks or the women or anything like that. She murdered the men. But like there could have been someone among those men who was not a terrible person. Well, so like to me, that's just she was painting broad strokes and being a murderer.
I was gonna say that too when I first saw it, except for like. Because, like, in the books, there's a couple of good guy Freys, like Blackwalder and stuff. Like, they're, like, just waiting for him to die so they can, like, be a nice house again. But then the Red Wedding happens, and you're like, well, that wasn't all their decisions. It was really just his decision. Some of them executed it. Some of them, were not there at the time. They were in prison camps and stuff because the war was still happening. But in that scene, the best thing they did to make her not be killing innocent people, or at least likely innocent people, is they are all drinking that wine to toast to what happened at the Red Wedding. And he literally references it, and like Jaime's there, and like everyone's just, they're like, yeah, we're like so fucking happy all the Starks are dead. Isn't life grand? We're so great. We're a top house now.
No, I get it.
And all the Tullys are dead.
No, but man, like you can't be the one that's just like pour out the wine. No, like you can't like at high school you can't be the one kid not playing Fortnite.
So you're doing they're just following orders argument?
No. All I'm saying is that I have some trouble with that scene as like she's a mass murderer now. Like she is a murderer, killer.
I get it.
Yeah, like just completely like a killer.
I would have been fine with her blowing them up with wildfire too. I don't care. I don't care if she's just the Stark version of like Cersei or something like that. But as long as like what she's doing is still morally like she's only killing the bad people.
Gotcha.
She's never killed a good person.
Okay, can I move on to the next worst moment?
The bad moments, yeah.
Yeah, the second one for me. Not naming Tywin. What a little idiot she is. Rob doesn't die.
I think secretly she liked him a little bit.
I know, but that's a dumb move. That's a dumb move. That she didn't. She should have named him. She should have had Jaqen kill him.
Yeah.
Then Tywin can't go save the King's Landing. Yeah, and Stannis went. Yeah,
but like he said, it could have been a long time before he killed Tywin and got away with it. Like he might not have just done it right then.
Yeah,
he might have waited, and so like the Red Wedding still might have happened. I mean, I think he might have saved the Red Wedding.
I know that for the show it shouldn't have happened, and I wanted him to stay around. But like from a Like when you look at all your cards in your hand and you're just like, oh, let me not play my like Uno card that makes you skip your you
didn't do a dumb thing, but you didn't do the best thing.
Yeah, exactly. So for me, like that was one time I was just like, why didn't you name Tywin?
I would have named him first and then escaped second.
Yeah.
And if he didn't do it, I'd be like, Jack and Hagar.
All right, so that was. Do you have any other worst moments for her? That
the thing I mentioned earlier about like so she like got back from her wounds so quickly. Mm-hmm. But the best moment would definitely be when she cuts off the wick of the candle.
Oh yeah.
And fights in the dark because the whole blind thing was really boring.
A benefit.
And I'm like, why the fuck are they making her blind for the whole season? I was so bored by that. But then
it pays off.
But then like she uses it to her advantage, and I'm like, oh, okay, that's really fucking cool. So best/worst, yeah.
She was
the Terminator's
at this
chasing was cool.
she was at this moment, but it wasn't really her moment. The people in the troupe, the acting troupe, replaying what had happened her whole life, like and making a play out of it. That was like I thought that was a cool surreal moment, like of us living a recap of the show, but then like seeing how the actual world around her would absorb what had happened and dramatize or comicize it, like
it was
make
interesting
it a comedy
seeing that because she gets to find out like what happened to Joffrey.
Yeah,
because they show that part too, and she's like, "Oh shit,
he's not on my list."
Because she's still mad about the Ned thing. Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Yeah, it's good stuff. Okay, so next things, happy and sad endings. So, where do you want to start with her?
Let's do sad first.
Okay,
we'll end happy. I think sad would be, I don't know if somehow like Jon and her didn't get to reunite, that'd be really sad for me because they build that up like a big deal in the books, especially how close they are. In the first draft of the books, they were going to be a love interest that came to fruition later, but he axed that later, whatever. But I don't know. I think she would have to be dead, I guess, and maybe fail at like saving Sansa or something like that. Nymeria gone. She's already lost so much that it's like she doesn't fear death. So it's hard to say death would be the sad ending for her. What if she tries to go west of Westeros and the Earth is flat, so she just falls off? Pretty sad ending.
Kyrie Irving is happy. Okay, so my sad ending is that good guys win. Happiness. Sansa's Lady of Winterfell. Jon's King with Daenerys. Whatever. Just happy endings for everyone. All abound. And then Syrio Forel comes back. Rips off his face. He's Jack and Hagar.
Yeah.
Murders her.
And murders her?
Yeah.
Because she broke the rules?
Yeah, she broke the rules of the Faceless Men. She left him.
But he let her go.
Okay, I mean, just...
I know, that's ridiculous.
Yeah, it's...
I did like the whole, like, what if Jaqen is Syrio?
Yeah,
they leave the dungeons, like, at the same time?
Yeah, they leave it kind of open.
They're both from Bravos. They can fight a little bit. I don't know.
Yeah, I can see it happening.
And, like, also, he's, like, Syrio says he was the first sort of Bravos.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like you don't stop being the first sort of Bravos.
No.
But if you're a faceless man, then you're no one.
Yeah.
So that's why you could have to leave it.
Yeah.
I don't know. Anyway, yeah. Happy endings. She marries Gendry, and they go west of Westeros in a boat, and that's where it ends. Is it just like season 4 ended with her like sailing away?
Him
happily?
rowing?
Not him rowing. God damn it. I walked right into that one.
You did. You really did.
A bigger boat, like a larger.
But he still has 2 oars.
Boat.
He still has 2 oars.
Because his biceps are just like 50 inches.
Yeah.
No, I don't know. Just going off and exploring, like doing what she's always been destined to do, which is to say no to convention and to do her own thing.
Okay.
After she says goodbye to everybody.
Okay.
Yeah.
I like that. I am in on her marrying Gendry. I like that as a like she pursues it thing and makes it happen kind of thing. I really like that. Mm-hmm. I am in on what you had said in one of our previous episodes that she like is wearing Jaime's face to murder Cersei.
I love that.
I need that to happen. Like if it doesn't happen, right? Now that you've said that, if it doesn't happen in the show, I'm gonna be mad at the writers.
I'm already mad because like I know like 80% of the things I'm up with that I love aren't gonna happen.
Okay, well you don't tell me because I don't want spoilers.
No. I just
know
I have
in your head. Yeah.
They couldn't all happen
because they're not gonna give us the fan service.
Because if it was fan service, then like 80 people stab Cersei so that they can all feel good about stabbing Cersei. But it still fulfills the Valonqar prophecy. It's just not gonna happen.
Yeah,
like a dragon's like waiting in line with a knife. Like, my theories are too crazy.
No, that's real bad. Yeah, I could see I have a tough time with Arya having a happy ending. I know the show's done so much to her, but I really doubt it. I don't think they, like, and I said, like, I think she's a murderer now. I don't think they reward that. I think she might end up in jail for her crimes, or I don't know.
No, not jail. Hell no. Maybe death. Death is the only, because they do say it's a bittersweet ending. Like that's what George R. R. Martin's been saying for years, and so she's gonna get something she wants and something she doesn't want. Like something bad's gonna happen.
I would really love it if, like, let's say, Needle gets broken and Gendry reforges it as Valyrian steel or something like that. I think that'd be the cool way for those two to come back together with reforging of Needle.
That'd be cool.
Yeah, I'd be into that. Or he makes her Needle but just out of dragon glass or something like that.
Yeah. Yeah, I think something like that. Or someone close to her could die too. I mean, maybe she bonds even more with Brienne and has to watch her die, or has to watch the Hound die if he dies. Something like that. That'd be pretty sad.
All right, well then let's move on to will she live or die?
Live. It's his wife's favorite character. George R. R. Martin's wife's favorite character. He's not gonna kill her.
I'm with you. I don't think
because she's been through a lot.
I don't think that there's a chance in hell that they kill her.
No.
I think like America will turn off the television if like Arya is getting like ripped in half by hounds as big as
spiders.
As big as hounds. No, what if it's hounds as big as spiders?
That's
little tiny.
That's not scary at all. That's just weird. That sounds like a bad nightmare.
Yeah.
I don't know, but like what they could really do that would like set the internet on fire is have her die, and then Melisandre brings her back.
Like one of the episodes ends with Arya dying. Yeah.
Or she got stabbed. They're like evacuating Winterfell. They're going south to the Riverlands.
Yeah.
They're gonna try and have one more stand at the Trident, and that's where like the people
Arya's
from
like bleeding out. She's like on a cart, and they're like riding her away.
And she's like about to die, and then you see her eyes kind of glaze over, and then Melisandre's the one that brings her back.
Yeah.
Because she does say we're gonna meet again.
Yeah.
I mean, that'd be kind of awesome. Like, what if like the person you hate brought you back to life? What the fuck do you do?
Yeah.
I mean, Davos had to like side with the devil.
Someone on her list. Yeah.
Yeah, that'd be kind of cool.
So is she Azor Ahai?
No. Definitely not.
I'm gonna say maybe.
No. Come on. I don't know. I think she's like like you said, she's a mass murderer. She's an assassin. She's not the hero of our age. Okay. She's not the one that will unite all the armies of men under like one shield to defend humanity. That's Jon.
So I brought up this new category randomly earlier before, not in this episode, but in previous episodes. The awards. I think she has the award for most people murdered. Like
by a single person?
Yeah, like that we've seen on show. I think she's killed the most people of anyone we've seen.
I'd say Cersei.
Show. Oh, okay.
Cersei with the big, the
yeah,
Baelor.
You're right.
Yeah, and well, I mean, fuck. Does Tyrion get the Battle of Blackwater
murders?
Because that's like dozens of boats worth of dudes. That might be 1,000 or 2,000 dudes.
Okay.
And you don't hate him, do you?
No, but like by her hand, I think she's murdered more people too.
By her hand? I don't know. I'd probably go with like the Mountain.
Okay.
Or Beric, or someone who's been fighting like the whole time. Who's a good swordsman.
Okay. I'm saying on screen specifically. I could see her being.
The Mountain. The Mountain's probably killed most people actually.
I could see her being Azor Ahai.
Really?
Yeah.
I don't think it fits the prophecy enough.
Okay.
She hasn't awoken dragons from stone or born amongst. She doesn't, because like the born thing, like born amongst salt and smoke, it can be a rebirth thing. Like that for Daenerys, it would be like in the pyre.
Yeah.
When Khal Drogo's dead and the dragons come to life, that's when she was like reborn as the mother of dragons. But also she was born on the ocean during a storm, so salt and smoke kind of makes sense there too. It doesn't make sense at all for Arya. I don't think she has had a rebirth anywhere.
Would you say that Arya will ride a dragon? How do you think she'll react to the dragons? Because she was like the first person that was like reading about the Daenerys history.
She was very interested. I think she'll love seeing them. I don't think she'll ride one.
Okay.
I think she might escape on one, but like that's not like the same as like owning one. Right? I think it'd be dope because she's still kind of small if she rode Nymeria. Like if they do retreat back down to the Riverlands and the wolf pack is on their side.
What if she rides Ghost?
Ghost isn't as big as Nymeria though.
Mm-hmm.
Ghost is. I mean, they're all big. So they're dire wolves. I mean, you could ride a dire wolf.
I would say like in the show, shouldn't they be bigger than they are?
Yes, but the budget.
The budget is the budget. Okay.
They should be about the size of a bear.
Gotcha.
Basically, but like on all four, like and longer and leaner. Yeah.
Gotcha. Okay. Well, any other theories for Arya? Any other things? Wishes? Well wishes? Anything?
I definitely want her to use that Valyrian steel dagger to do something awesome. Either kill like a White Walker general, or like, what if she gets to like, what if like the ice dragon gets downed, or the White Walker dragon gets downed and she gets like slit its throat or something crazy like that, or stab it through the eye, the blue eye. That'd be kind of cool.
I like it. I like Arya's Dragon Slayer. I like that.
That'd be sick.
Oh man. Okay, so we brought this up last episode. Podrick, like,
she's a Kingsguard.
What his name
first
could
female
be?
Kingsguard.
That would be cool.
Her and Brienne.
Yeah. But what I think someone is going to kill the dragon and they'll get titled Dragon Slayer. But I'm saying it's Podrick. Podrick's going to have the title Dragon Slayer. Yeah. He's going to kill the ice dragon.
Or like we talked about with Jaime, like what if Jaime got to do it so that he was remembered as Dragon Slayer instead
and
of
not
the
Kingslayer?
That's kind of cool.
That is cool.
Yeah. He's a dick sometimes, though.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I want Arya to win all the things. I wish good things for her. I don't want her to die either.
I give Arya the award for cutest giggle for a murderer.
I give her the award for favorite murderer.
Yeah. My favorite murderer. That sounds like a bad like movie from the 90s.
My favorite. Yeah, or like Hallmark like movie, like Christmas movie. Yeah. My favorite murderer, and it's about a serial killer who's like Santa Claus.
Yeah,
or something.
And they cut the trailer with the end as the giggle.
Yep.
Terrible.
You'll die too.
Come on.
All right, as always, this podcast is brought to you by Altered Reality Entertainment. They have a little convention called Epic Comic-Con that's happening in New Jersey, Atlantic City, Showboat Hotel and Casino. Check it out, epiccomiccon.com. Celebrities, vendors, artists. Ice spiders as big as houses. You're doing this! It's not going away. Okay, so thank you guys. Check it out, epiccomiccon.com. Thanks for listening to On the Case. Next time we're going to talk about
Varys.
The spider.
The master of whispers.
Who is not as big as a hound.
He's a bit bigger. But he's got more secrets.
Yeah. His balls are chopped off like most hounds.
Okay. That's a weird way to go with it.
They fix dogs, typically.
Yeah. We'll have better things to say than that, so definitely come back to hear about Varys.
Oh my gosh, get out of here, Casey.
Master of Whispers.
All right, bye guys.